Okay, let's move on to the theatrical movies, the most famous of the Looney Tunes films. First, we're going to talk about Space Jam. When sports star Michael Jordan publicly retires from basketball, he tries to start a baseball career, but it doesn't go so well. Meanwhile, an outer space theme park called Moron Mountain is failing business, so its owner demands his little alien minions to kidnap the Looney Tunes. In order to avoid planetary slavery, Bugs challenges the aliens to a game of basketball. The Toons are pretty confident they'll win, because these space creatures are disadvantaged by height. But our heroes later find out that the aliens have stolen the talents of famous basketball stars, and have become giant monsters. Back on Earth, Michael tries to relax from his stress by golfing with his friends, but he's suddenly dragged down a golf hole, and pulled into the world of Looney Tunes. Bugs explains his situation to Michael. Michael agrees to come out of retirement to help, so that he can support these cartoons and get the NBA stars their talent back.
I went into Space Jam with really low expectations because I've heard people talking all sorts of trash about Space Jam. I think that it wasn't that bad.
I would say that millennials have exaggerated how good it is, and critics have exaggerated how bad it is. It has its flaws, very, very notable flaws, but I would not say that it's the worst Looney Tunes movie out of all of them.
Yeah, well, I wish that they had actually written something for it, because it seems like they made up everything on the day of shooting. So I was kind of missing that, like, snappy Looney Tunes writing, which is disappointing.
Well, okay, a little backstory. Space Jam was based on a series of commercials starring Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes. That's the inspiration. It's a very studio kind of project. Like, there wasn't like a Looney Tunes fanboy working at Warner Brothers going, oh, I really want to make this film. It was like, lots of people like these adverts, let's turn it into a film somehow, and we end up with the most 90s movie ever made. The entire thing just screams 90s. I will admit that I've been a bit too harsh on the film in the past, but at the same time, I also have very rose-tinted glasses because this is my earliest cinema experience, and I was obsessed with Space Jam. And when Space Jam came out, it was a craze. Kids loved it. It was absolutely nuts. So I'm not going into this as someone that's like really bitter and is like has no childhood background with the film, because no, trust me, I do. Michael Jordan was like my hero as a kid because of this film.
There's a couple jokes that worked, and I feel like those are the few jokes that they actually wrote before they went in, and everything else was like, let's make stuff up.
Which ones made you laugh? Because I don't remember any making me laugh, if I'm honest.
I think there was one or two where they were making fun of Warner Bros. In it.
I'll admit, I remember liking the meta jokes. Alright. It's just any time where they're trying to have, like, Looney Tunes being Looney Tunes, it doesn't work, because, like, it doesn't have the wit or charm of the classics, and the film's going for a much more juvenile sense of humor, so, yeah. I get why little kids would find this movie to be hilarious, I really do, because the kind of jokes that children love. I just can't say that the comedy is faithful to the original shorts, or will be consistently funny to anyone that's over 12.
If you watch the movie, I would recommend watching it with no sound on, except for when they play the Jock Jams thing. And then the rest of it, no sound, just look at the animation. That's very nice.
The thing is, I say all the soundtracks are great. It's a really good jukebox soundtrack, I'd say. I liked all the songs they had in the background.
I've just seen a lot of movies where it's like literally every single joke is a piece of shit. So I don't know if I would say it's that low.
I'm not saying every joke is bad. I'm saying every joke didn't make me laugh. I didn't. There wasn't a joke. There was never a joke where I was like, oh, I was just like blank faced the entire time. I was never really mad. It just went over my head.
Oh, here's one. Okay, I remember one joke that was like fucking hilarious, and I don't know if it was actually a joke or not. But, like, the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan are going to begin the basketball game, and he's like, hey, guys, it's just have fun. It's all about having fun. And I fucking laughed my ass off at that, because it's like, they're playing this game so they don't become slaves, and Michael just like, just have fun.
The only thing I'll say about Michael Jordan's acting is like it's okay.
It's 90s and cheesy.
It's okay. Like, he's competent.
Anyone lend me a pair of sneakers?
Sneakers? Oh. Shall we?
Someone's gonna have to go to my house and pick up my basketball gear.
To your house? In 3D land?
Yeah, whatever you do. Don't forget my North Carolina shorts.
But I'll admit that he vanishes into all the chaos for me. And I think Shaq should have played the lead. Shaq is not a good actor, I know, but he can get very enthusiastic about stuff he's in, and he's weird. He'll just blend in with the tunes. Like, I feel like he really should have been there, because, like, yeah, Michael's supposed to be kind of a straight man, but he's more invisible than straight.
Yeah, I thought, I don't know how it worked when it first came out, but it was kind of nice because he was such a huge anchor to the 90s. Every time you see him, you're like, oh, 90s.
But going back to the comedy, I will say that at least there's a creative variety to the types of jokes that the film has. The comedy isn't just limited to cartoons hurting each other. The film consistently throws something at the wall again and again, and like, yeah, I none of them made me laugh, but I respect the film for being like, you know what we got, keep throwing. That to me is, yeah, I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah, well, here, let's talk about the voice acting a little bit on Space Jam. Because a lot of the comedy, for me, in some of the Looney Tunes have been, like, the voice performances.
Wabbit season! Duck season! Wabbit season! Wabbit season! Duck season! Fire!
And I was just so disappointed with the voice performances in Space Jam. I thought all of them were pretty much bad. And I think that also really sunk the comedy, because the way that the characters say the lines is supposed to be funny. And if you're not going to put energy and humor into the way you say the lines, it's not really going to be the Looney Tunes.
Now, what are we looking at here? We got a small race of invading aliens. Small arms, short legs.
Not very fast. Tiny little guys.
Can't jump high.
And it's going to make jokes that aren't very good on paper even worse when you play them.
On the one hand, I get what you mean. I understand. But at the same time, it's a lot to put on any actor nowadays to replicate what Mel Blanc did. Because Mel Blanc was a friggin' genius, and I don't think we're ever going to have anyone like him, and it's very, very difficult to replace him.
Yeah, well, I thought the voice acting in Back in Action was better, though. I just wanted to hear effort and energy, and I heard no effort and I heard no energy in Space Jam.
Personally, I'm fine with the voice acting. I really like Billy West's Bugs Bunny. I like his Bugs Bunny. I like other takes on it more maybe, but I have kind of a soft spot for his take on Bugs.
Yeah, and maybe it's just because I've heard a lot of Billy West's other stuff, but I just know he can do way better than that. And it's not even like how does he do the voice? It's like how does he say the line? How does he act the part? I know he can be amazing, so I was just disappointed.
Bugs Bunny?
You were expecting maybe the Easter Bunny?
You're a cartoon, you're not real.
Not really. If I weren't real, could I do this?
The thing is, I can see why I loved this film as a kid, and why younger audiences will enjoy it. And it's not just because of the really silly sense of humor that can be kind of naughty and rude and kind of dumb. There's something enchanting about the premise that will click with kids' imagination. The idea of a cartoon world hidden in a golf hole. I think kids will love that. Kids love a sense of mystery and magic, and they love cartoons, and it kind of like blends those two things together.
Kids love more than golfing.
There's a scene where Michael Jordan's kids meet Bugs and Daffy in their house. I think that's the best part of the film, because it really captures the innocent wonder that kids have for cartoon characters and how much they look up to them. I kind of wish there were more scenes like that, and that like the kids had had more of an involvement in the main story, because when I saw that scene, I was like, ooh, there's something there. There's a little charm there that I feel like the director should have, like, embraced a bit more.
Yeah, I appreciate that the kids pretty much accepted it immediately and just helped out. Because they were all sneaking around in the house, and I thought they were going to go through some sort of, like, complication storyline where the kid shows up in the other world and then they've got to, like, fix that problem. I'm like, oh, God, not this again.
Yeah, I liked, and it showed how much they loved Looney Tunes. Like, they didn't need to question it. They look up to these cartoons as role models, and they're like, right, Bugs is here, he needs our help, here you go, Bugs. I like that. I like that a lot. And that, again, that is how kids would act around their heroes. They'd be like, oh boy, I get to see him.
I wanted to ask you about your experience as a child seeing some of the CG stuff in Space Jam. Because it's, like, nice animation and, like, a kid-friendly thing, and then randomly they have this horrific CG stretch effects on the basketball court, and I'm like, what the heck? So,
Okay.
nightmares from that, yes or no? Anybody? Did anybody get that?
Okay.
Because I was scared, and I'm like an adult.
I was 5 or 6 when the film came out, and I don't remember. I'm that much of a fogey, it's all a blur to me, so I don't remember much. I remember going to the cinema, I remember obsessing over the film, and that's it. But yes, the CGI is terrifying, and out of everything in the film, it's the part that's aged the most.
The stretching hand and, like, the weird, like, inflation stuff.
None of it has stood the test of time.
Questionable. Horrifying.
It's nightmare fuel. It really is nightmare fuel. There are some shots in this film, and you know how much I hate my Uncanny Valley as well. So I was deeply disturbed.
I found myself to also be deeply disturbed.
So, the character of Lola Bunny is considered to be one of the worst Looney Tunes depictions ever. How do you feel about it?
I thought she was fine. I mean, they could have done better with her jokes, because she has only one joke.
Try to get by me, dog.
Don't ever call me doll.
I mean, it's the 90s, so that's like... I mean, that's the way that the female characters were in the 90s, so...
Oh, it's a very 90s idea of what feminist was. The main criticism people have towards it is that she's hypersexualized, and rewatching, I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see it.
Was this her first time
Yes.
in anything? Like, okay. Because it kind of seemed like, to me, they were trying to rip off Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit, yeah.
Because it seemed like they were like, oh, well, mixing live action and animation, let's do what worked for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Oh, Jessica Rabbit? Okay, let's make a rabbit that's, like, really sexy.
No, I totally see that. I'll admit that, yeah. There's definitely some Jessica Rabbit influence. It's just the writers assumed that the reason why Jessica was such a popular character is because she was hot. It's like, no. Yeah, she's attractive, but, like, she's also a very well-developed character within the whole mystery. So, like, yeah, they kind of missed the point.
I didn't feel too strongly about it. Like, too negatively about it. In fact, I felt a lot more irritated with the female characters Back in Action than I did with Lola Bunny.
So, to round up Space Jam, despite its reputation, I would not say it's the worst Looney Tunes movie. There are worse. Mm-hmm. Space Jam is at least memorable in how weird and outlandish it is, in both premise and execution. You can't easily forget it. And there's a reason why.
I wouldn't recommend, like, watching the movie, but I wouldn't say it's, like, terrible.
Yeah, it makes sense why it has a cult following, because it's so bizarre.